Alright, so first things first, I have to tell you, I'm kind of losing my voice today. I was just away at a bachelor party over the weekend. That's why there was no video up yesterday. And my voice isn't doing so great, so you're going to have to bear with me through today's video. And on top of that, I don't really have the best news about today's update for Black Ops 4. So as you guys know, Tuesdays are the update days for Black Ops 4. And lately, with the updates, there have been a lot of drama. Last week, new weapons were implemented that are only available through reserves, and people are pretty damn pissed about that. The weapon bribes that are supposed to give you one of the new weapons can also just give you a Mark II weapon, so people aren't happy with what's going on in the game. The one saving grace that Black Ops 4 had last week is that they said that there's going to be a new daily contract system that was going to be added into the game. This daily contract system was going to be a way to earn these new weapons. In today's patch notes, contracts weren't added, but were detailed, and I'm not going to lie, I'm not really happy with what we're seeing here. So in today's video, we are going to be going over the new contract system, what Treyarch actually has to say about it, which to me is a little bit of a slap in the face. And then on top of that, we are going to be looking at everything that is new, the new game modes, what's new in the black market, and the new Alcatraz map additions that have been added in today as well. So we're going to be going over all of that today. Of course, we're going to be starting with the contracts. And guys, if you don't mind my voice slowly dying, I am going to be doing a live stream tonight. It should start around 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we're going to be playing the new Blackout update, doing an open lobby, and you guys can play some Black Ops 4 with me. So if you want to check that out, first link down in the description. But let's dive into the drama. I feel like I'm Keemstar or something. So first things first, as far as where I'm getting this information from, I'm getting it from the actual patch notes. This is what Treyarch has actually put out and is trying to tell the community. The reason why I say that is because what they put in these patch notes today, normally they're fine, but I find really condescending, and I think you'll see why I say that as I read them to you. Before we get into today's news, we'd like to touch on some of the past week's updates, particularly the changes made to the black market. The team at Treyarch has been excited to bring so much new free content to the community. Alright, let's start with that, because this makes me angry. First of all, Treyarch, anything that you put into your fucking game is not free. You charge for the game. That means whatever is in the game is not free. People already pay for it. That's like the equivalent of going to a restaurant and buying a steak. In the fine print, it says that the steak comes with potatoes, vegetables, and all of this kind of stuff. But when your waiter brings you your food, they go, here's your steak, and don't worry, those vegetables are on the house. No, it's not free. You paid for it, and that's what you get. Treyarch and Activision seem to think that the games as a service model that they are pushing for their game means that they can just charge for fucking everything. Meanwhile, other competitor games aren't doing that. They are giving you the free content, and some of these games that they are competing with are even free to play, and Call of Duty is not. It's very clear by just that first sentence that I read you, they are oblivious to this. That's almost beside the point, because the second point you have to look at here is almost all of the content that they are adding into the game is not free. Yes, they added new game modes. Yes, they put out Grind for free, which I was shocked by. Good job on that one. Like I said, that's the one good thing you've added lately. But everything else, you look at the Blackjack's black market, it is expensive to get these items. You have reserves, which really to get good items you gotta pay a lot of money for, or play every second of the day. And then finally you have the contraband stream, which they go on to talk about in this and say that this is free, but if you look at the majority of players, they don't play enough to unlock all 50 tiers within 35 days, so they are probably paying money for that as well. All of these free items that Treyarch is talking about, most are not even free. Even the maps that they are saying are free, you have to have a season pass for. So stop jerking yourself off, Treyarch, and really look at what you're putting out to players. But let me keep reading this because it gets more ridiculous. So they go on to say, Treyarch has been excited to bring so much new free content to the community with the Days of Summer mid-operation update. Our classic multiplayer map Grind, the new community challenge, more game modes including Ground War, in Blackout, and Capture the Flag in multiplayer, new Zombies and Blackout updates features, and new weapons and personalization content that can be found through the contraband stream. We've also been following the recent discussions around weapons being introduced to reserves. Okay, so at least they're listening, right? So they go on to say, going forward, we are actively planning to provide all players with new ways to earn weapons just by playing the game in any mode, including Our community challenge that unlocks the free, fully customizable Grav assault rifle, now live today for all players on all platforms. Treyarch, I hate to break the news to you, but that weapon has been in the game since launch. You don't need to pat yourself on the back for that one. Honestly, it's about time that it moved to multiplayer. Question is, where's the MP40? After that, they say a new path to earn more reserves in all modes, including zombies, multiplayer, blackout, and league play. Nobody has any idea what that is, and they don't mention that throughout the entire rest of the notes here. Additional earnable duplicate protected weapon bribes that will become available in the future. So as far as earnable weapon bribes, I would love to see that in game. It's a good idea. The problem is with the weapon bribes, you're not guaranteed a new weapon. You're guaranteed a Mark II weapon or a new weapon. Take out the Mark II weapon part of it. Just put the new weapons in there. That's what people want. And finally, the other thing that they say is our upcoming contract system that will deliver in-game rewards for completing daily rotating challenges. So the cool thing about this is they do go on to explain exactly what these contracts are going to be like. And they are a joke. So they say in the patch notes that this is a mock-up of what they are planning to add to the game. So 3 daily challenges that you can complete, and what you get is XP and reserves. Not reserve crates that have 3 items, reserves that have 1 item inside them that you can get. And it's not duplicate protected, so the items that you get from these are probably just going to be duplicates anyway. But looking at the challenges is what makes it even more ridiculous. So first of all, Domination Challenger. Win 10 domination games. You get 1,000 XP and 1 reserve for 10 games. And that's not just for playing 10 games. You have to win 10 games. That would probably take an average person around 3 hours to actually complete. And you get 1 reserve from it. The middle one's a little bit more reasonable. It's simply get 40 kills with a pistol. However, the reward sucks. It's just 1,000 XP. No reserves, no way to get weapons. Treyarch is trying to sell us these as ways to earn the new weapons, but it's ridiculous what they are. And then finally, we have the daily hard challenge called Popcorn Party. And this is essentially get 2 kills or a double kill with 1 frag grenade. And for this, you'd think you'd get something great because it's a hard challenge, right? Nope, you just get 2,500 XP and 2 reserves. Not cases, just reserves. So 2 items, which once again are not duplicate protected. So don't get me wrong. I like the idea of contracts being added. I like the idea of earnable weapon bribes. I think that would be great for maybe weekly challenges, Treyarch, if you want any ideas. The problem is challenges not only have to be feasible for you to complete, they also have to be a reasonable reward. Like that domination challenge we just talked about is ridiculous. It's literally it would take me 3 hours to complete because I don't win every game of domination that I play. And upon doing so, I get one item. And just so you know, the chance of getting a weapon out of that item is like 0.0025% or something ridiculous like that. And they are trying to tell us that this is the way to earn weapons in the game. If this is the way to earn weapons in the game, no one's gonna fucking get these things. So Treyarch goes on to tell us that next week we are going to be getting the full details of how the contracts are exactly going to work and in each game mode, so zombies, blackout, and multiplayer, and we'll be finding that out all in depth next week. So I will keep you guys updated on this. I just wanted to get it out there that if this is the system that they are putting in for the contracts, it is an absolute joke. And what makes it even more of a joke is the fact that they think that this is an okay system to implement. They could have put anything on this mock-up image, and they decided to put these challenges with these shitty rewards. The thing is I don't want to be the guy that's constantly complaining about Call of Duty, but with every update, it seems to be getting worse and worse. And I really urge you to go read these patch notes for yourself, because for the entire first 3 paragraphs, it appears as though they're just trying to jerk themselves off as to all of this free stuff that they've put into the game, and they're doing nothing wrong, and free, everything in our game is free, when meanwhile, we really see what's going on in the game. I really strongly recommend going and checking it out, because the way they wrote it is, to me, a slap in the face. So before we dive into the rest of the update, I want to hear what your opinion is. I want you to write down in the comments what you think reasonable challenges would be and what reasonable rewards would be for these challenges as well. Quite honestly, for that domination challenge we looked at before, 10 reserves might be a reasonable reward for that. But first of all, it's going to take you 3 hours. Most of the items you get out of those reserves are going to be duplicates, and you only get 1 item out of the reserve, whereas other supply drops are always 3 items. So I want to hear what you think. What do you think are reasonable rewards for reasonable challenges? I want to hear what you think down in the comments. Now, let's get our happy faces on. Let's get a little more positive, and let's talk about the rest of this update. So first things first, the Days of Summer event is now live across all platforms. So for your Xbox and PC players, the Days of Summer event is now good to go. As far as featured game modes this week in multiplayer, we've got Barebones Objective Mosh Pit, which is new. It includes game modes like Domination, Control, Hardpoint, Safeguard, and Search and Destroy. So Safeguard and Search and Destroy we haven't had in Barebones before, so that's new. You also have Infected, Prop Hunt, Bolt Action, Barebones Mosh Pit, and finally Capture the Flag. Oh, and don't worry, guys. All of these game modes, they're free. Everything else in the game, not so much. Game modes, free. Sorry, I said I'd be more positive. It's just those patch notes are really still bothering me. Anyway, back to the update. Now, there was also a bunch of multiplayer bug fixes, but as far as updates to weapons, we got 3 big ones. First of all, the X6 Stingray, which is the new tac rifle. They lowered the damage of the operator mod. Apparently, it was super overpowered. I didn't have the weapon. I never got killed by it, but apparently it was absolutely ridiculous. So they've lowered that damage a little bit. Secondly, the Ballistic Knife. They slowed the projectile velocity, added pronounced ballistic arc. In other words, it arcs when you shoot it over a long distance. And finally, adjusted the gas-powered attachment. So that is also going to shoot the projectile slower as well. The Ballistic Knife was really damn good. It definitely needed a little bit of a nerf, so it's good to see that. And finally, the Vendetta. They say that headshots with the Vendetta are now one-shot kills. Personally, for me, before this, they were one-shot kills, so I have no idea what they actually changed with that. But for sure now, one-shot headshots with the Vendetta. Now, as far as Blackjack Shop, what we got here is, first of all, the bacon and pizza combo. This one is a weapon camo, which is bacon, and a weapon charm, which is pizza. This one's going to cost you 500 COD points. The second new item is the Buccaneer bundle. This one is for Outrider. And honestly, this is probably one of my favorite skins for Outrider. I think it makes her look completely different, and I really like it. This one is 800 COD points. And then finally, we have the Deep Voyage bundle. So this one, you are going to get the Mastercraft called the Deep Voyage for the Spitfire. Looks pretty damn good, but it's going to cost you 1,900 COD points because the price is inflated because you get 8 reserves with it as well. So expensive, but it's a pretty cool Mastercraft variant. I'll give them that. Now, as far as Blackout goes, this one's pretty straightforward. Once again, Ground War returns. That's the 50v50 mode, but also they brought back Alcatraz Portal Quads, which is the same as it was before. However, they have actually added some new locations. And I'm going to be going a little bit more in depth with that in a video tomorrow. We're going to go over all of the new locations and everything that changed in Alcatraz. But for right now, the 2 main locations that they have added are, first of all, Submarine. This is located on the north end of the island, and it is a full submarine. You can go down into it. There's like 3 stories in there, and to be quite honest with you, there's quite a good amount of loot here. So don't be afraid to try to drop here. The second new location is to the south of the island, and this one is called Shipwreck, and this one's pretty straightforward. It's a wrecked battleship that you can kind of go in, and there's full of loot. It's all rusted up, and it's, once again, a pretty good location. Enough loot for definitely a couple of teams to land here. But like I said, we'll go further in depth with this in tomorrow's video. On top of that, there's also some small changes to certain locations on the map that we will be looking at tomorrow as well. But ladies and gents, that is pretty much it for today's update. It wasn't a huge one. The main changes are obviously to the Alcatraz map, which we're going to be diving even deeper into tomorrow's video. So if you're not already subscribed to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Make sure you have notifications on, as it is the best way to stay up to date on all of my videos. On top of that, like I said before, let me know what you think of that whole new contract system and the contracts that they're showing us so far down in the comments below. And as always, guys, if you enjoyed the video, I would really appreciate it if you could hit that like button. But guys, I hope you enjoyed. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, guys, peace out.
Listen.